That night my world shattered. I stood outside my father's study, my hand pressed against the doorframe, my heart pounding so loudly I thought they would hear me breathing. Inside, I heard my stepmother's voice.
Calm. Polished.
Dangerous. David, she said, you could be great. But greatness needs connections. Investors.
Power.
I can give you all of that. But only if you marry Bella. Bella, her daughter, my stepsister. The air left my lungs. I wanted David, my David, to laugh, to say no, to defend me. But instead, there was silence. A silence heavier than any slap. Think about it, Clara whispered, her words dripping like poison. Marry Bella, and I will open doors for you that Amara never could. That was the moment my heart broke. Not because of Clara, I already knew she despised me. It was because David didn't walk away. 2 weeks later, their engagement was announced. The wedding was the event of the year in Lagos. Gold chandeliers, champagne fountains, imported lace. Bella parading like a queen while Clara beamed beside her. And me? I wasn't there. I couldn't. But pictures found me anyway. Their honeymoon in Dubai. Bella in designer gowns. David smiling beside her, proud, but in his eyes, I thought I saw something else. Something hollow. For weeks, I moved like a shadow. I went to work,
Came home.
tried not to crumble at the sound of their names. But one morning, staring at myself in the mirror, tears burning my face, I whispered a vow. I will not let them see me destroyed. I will not let Clara win. And I will not let David's betrayal define me. I didn't know then, but that vow would change everything. At first, rebuilding was survival. Showing up at work. Breathing through the pain. But soon, it became more. I enrolled in evening classes, project management, marketing. Nights were hard. I cried in bathroom stalls, my mind drifting back to David. But the classes gave me purpose. By spring, I earned certifications. A Lagos tech startup offered me a role managing client accounts. For the first time in months, I felt alive again. My boss, Hannah, was sharp and demanding. She pushed me harder than I thought I could go, and it worked. Life slowly opened up. I joined a hiking group, volunteered at a shelter, redecorated my small apartment into something that finally felt like mine. That's when Ethan Blake came into my life. He wasn't like David. Ethan didn't boast. He didn't chase status. He carried quiet authority, the kind that made people listen without him raising his voice. He remembered little things I said, encouraged me to dream bigger, and never once made me feel like I wasn't enough. Our first date wasn't in a 5-star restaurant. He took me to a small jazz lounge tucked on a Lagos side street. We talked for hours. I laughed more that night than I had in years. Months turned into a year. My walls began to crumble. One evening, walking on the beach at sunset, Ethan took my hands. I don't care where life takes us, he said. As long as I'm with you. Will you marry me? I said yes, without hesitation. Our wedding was intimate.
Friends. Family. Joy.
No Clara. No Bella. No David. For the first time in years, I felt peace. But peace never lasts forever. Because fate had one more chapter to write. And it would happen in the grandest ballroom in Lagos. The Whitmore Foundation Gala was the biggest charity event of the year. Ethan and I walked into the grand hall, and for the first time, heads turned not in pity, but in admiration. And then I saw them.
Clara.
Bella. David. David looked older, thinner, beaten down. Bella's smile was painted on, her eyes restless. Clara's polished mask cracked the second her gaze landed on me. And then Ethan introduced me. This is my wife, Amara. The word wife rippled through them like fire. Bella's smile wavered. David's color drained. Clara's fingers twitched against her glass. But the night was far from over. During the auction, Ethan bid generously, not for show, but for passion. And in that room, it became clear, his influence dwarfed anything Clara had once promised. And David broke. I watched him drink too much, his words slurring. Then it happened. In front of Lagos elite, he collapsed under the weight of his choices. My business gone. Bella spends everything. I should have never. His voice cracked before aides rushed him out. But the whispers spread like wildfire. The man Clara once dangled as Bella's golden prize was now humiliated in the very world she craved. But fate wasn't done. Days later, Clara called me. Her voice shook. Amara, you don't understand. David didn't just leave you. I forced him. I used secrets. I pressured him. I thought I was protecting Bella's future. I let the silence stretch. She wasn't confessing out of guilt. She was confessing because her empire had collapsed. Clara, I said finally, calm and steady. You ruined everything for nothing. I built my life without you. And that's the difference. There was silence. And for the first time, I realized Clara Lawson, the woman who once controlled every room, had nothing left. Bella and David's marriage crumbled. Clara's influence vanished. Their names became whispers. As for me, I walked forward with Ethan, stronger than I had ever been. Because the sweetest revenge wasn't David's collapse or Clara's confession. The sweetest revenge was living a life so full of love and peace, their schemes no longer mattered.